Welcome everybody. This is your toe up knit sock knit along. Knit a sock. And this is about casting on, and we're going to be using the Judy's Magic Cast On method. And I saw somebody illustrate it. Actually, they illustrated it a little bit different than what Judy originally designed it to be, and I got thinking, who is this Judy girl anyways? So apparently her name is Judy Baker, and I found a video that she showed on how she did it, how she created it, which was like 14 years old. So I don't even know if she's still around. But one thing is she's left this great legacy of an easy cast on method. So it might seem a bit tricky in the beginning. I had to practice it several times before I kind of got the knack or the hang of it. But once you do get it, it's really quite easy. So yeah, if you're trying it and you're trying to do it and get it on, you're going to say, this is not easy. But it will get easier. Trust me, you have to practice it. So I'm going to show you how I practiced it using some worsted weight wool because it was thicker and would show up better than the tiny strands. And then I'm going to show you how I cast on using my sock yarn and creating my sock. So how I got to that point. This is sock number 2 of a pair. So watch it, practice it, and if you have any questions, as usual, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer. So here we go, the beginning of our Sock Sue's Summer Socks cast on. In this video, we're going to jump right into the cast on. But if you go to the very end of the video, I'm going to give you all the instructions. For example, how many stitches to cast on, going over what yarns to use, and just general information that you might need in creating a sock. I start with my circular needles, and then I pull the 2 needle ends and hold them side by side, and then I can weave my yarn on. And the way I do that is, first of all, I pull out a long tail, so I have 2 long sections on each side, and I loop it around my fingers like a V section. Then I start weaving in my yarn onto my needles. So there's a top and a bottom, the top needle, the bottom needle. The bottom needle will always pick from the top of the thread. The top needle will always pick from the bottom of the thread. And it's like a weaving of figure 8, sort of. So I think the best way to figure out how to do this is just to observe it. Once you get that sort of V, your yarn into the V section in your hand, and you hold that, you'll see that you have a top yarn, top of the needle, bottom of the needle, and you just alternate them, top to bottom, bottom to top. So this is the top yarn picking up from the bottom, bottom yarn picking up from the top thread, top to bottom, bottom to top, top needle to bottom thread, bottom to top, and so forth. So I'm going to illustrate this again using my sock yarn, which is smaller yarn, of course. In this example, I'm using a worsted weight, just hopefully so that you can see it a little bit easier. See how it looks underneath? All the little bumps in that? It's like you've actually knit on your stitches. So Judy Becker, thank you so much for creating this design. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull out the bottom needle, and I'm going to knit the top stitches. So make sure you get your tail in the right spot. You don't want to be picking that up and knitting with it. So you slip your knitting needle out, and of course stitches are on the cord and the top ones are on the needle, and you simply knit your stitches. Now I always knit the first row, the first 12 stitches on each needle, and then I begin my increases, and then I alternate an increase row with a straight knit row. And that's how you begin your toe and do the increases on each side. This is your magic loop method for casting on your stitches for a toe-up sock. And unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure which, this is the only method I really know how to use. I did see one that was casting on with double point needles, but it was so complicated for me. I just couldn't get it. So I use this method. The thing about the magic loop method is that you're always involved in this sliding of your needles, getting your stitches through the top one, pulling out the bottom needle, leaving the stitches on the loop. Then you take the bottom needle and you begin knitting the top stitches, and it just keeps going around like that, and you keep alternating these knitting needles. And what it does is it does leave a nice edging on the side of the toe as you're increasing. I find it a little bit cumbersome doing the magic loop method, except that when initially casting on and doing all the increases until I get to my 64 stitches that I want for my sock, I find it a little bit cumbersome, but it's probably the best method in terms of being able to do those increases. And then you get to a point where you will be able to just knit in the round using either magic loop, double point needles, or the Addy Sock Wonder needle. The first row was a complete knit row, knitting all the stitches around. The next row is the increase row. So you always knit that first stitch, and then you knit in the front and the back of the second stitch, and that's your increase. So you knit in the front, you turn it around, slip your needle into the back of that same stitch, and you knit it, and that gives you your increase. You go to the end of the row, to the last two stitches, the second last stitch, you'll do that same knit to front back increase, and then you knit the last stitch. Turn your work around, pull your needles through, and do the same thing on the other side. Here we are at the last two stitches, so I'm going to knit front to back. And then the last stitch you will knit. So you do that for each section, each side, and you alternate the increased row with a straight knit row. I'm returning back to the cast on section, and this time I'm illustrating it using the sock yarn that I have. So again, you have your yarn in your hands like a V-section, and you're bringing your top needles to the bottom yarn and the bottom needles to the top yarn. Now this time, I kind of cheated a little bit and held it in my forefinger and thumb, but I still got the same effect. So top to bottom, bottom to top. and then I count my stitches. So you're casting on 12 stitches on each side, total of 24, and you're going to increase up to 64 stitches. I know that seems like a lot, but when you're working with small yarn, small needles, you want a tight knit so that your sock fits well and doesn't wear out too quickly. So the closer the knit, the longer it will last. It's kind of like a relationship. The closer you are to each other, the longer the relationship lasts. Sorry about that, but it is true. A little knitting psychology there. You knit your first row, 12 stitches on each side, and then the next row is going to be your increase row, where you're going to increase the beginning and the end of your stitches on each set of needles. So 12 stitches on each needle. Now you're going to do increase 2, so that means 14 on each needle, and so forth. And that's the way it's going to go. Alternate an increase row, alternate a knit row. I noticed that when I came to the end of each row, whether it was an increase row or a knit row, one of the things I had to do was to pull on that first stitch just to tighten up and bring the two sides together. I didn't realize that in my first and second knitting of socks, but I did with this one. So I do that first stitch, and then I just give the yarn a nice tug, and sometimes you can feel the yarn tightening up around. And the reason I do that is so that you don't have a big gap on your increase on the sides. I'll show you. Hold on a second. Here's my sock, the first one completed, and my toe. So those increases that we're doing on each side show up like this. So that's the side of your sock. The reason we're pulling on the strands is so that we don't have a really big gap. Now when you're knitting it, you're going to see a bit of a gap, so don't panic, because remember, the stitches are being stretched on those corners while you're knitting, and they'll go back to normal once you're done. It'll be a nice increase seam. And that's what you're doing. You're gradually increasing on each side. One on this side, one on this side, and then you get to the other side of the needle. Here's increase, increase. And you pull those strands so that it doesn't have too much of a gap in between. Like that would be a gap, but it falls in line. One of my favorite parts is after you've made all your increases and you're now ready to just knit the actual foot heading from toe to heel. And in this situation, I have transferred my stitches onto my Addy Sock Wonder knitting needles, and they're a bit tricky to get used to, but honestly, I was knitting the other sock with deep double point needles, and that was okay, and I found it was going fairly quickly, so I liked that. But then my daughter gifted me these Addy Sock Wonder needles in the size that I needed for this particular sock, and I found it really went quickly. So it's very convenient. You don't have any corners, so if you could pick up a pair, it's great. We saw them on Amazon for about $13-14, and she was so sweet. She did the expedited delivery, so I got them the next day, and I was very delighted to get them. I knit up 2 pairs of socks. One was the blue striped, where I used Cascade Heritage, the blue, and the white was a mixed strand of acrylic yarn. And I alternated those, and I used the helical style of knitting to gradually seam my stripes so that you didn't see a big jog in there. The second set of socks was the James C. Brett sock yarn, and I was knitting them on double point needles until I got my little circular ones. And, you know, I actually timed myself, and it took me about 2.5 minutes, no matter whether I was using double point needles or the Addy Sock Wonder. I didn't time myself in terms of setting up the toe, but that's okay. It took a little bit longer. Now, I'm reading from my notes. So, materials, you definitely have to have sock yarn, using a mix of merino yarn and acrylics, because the acrylic part helps it keep its shape and last longer. So you need number 2 circular needles with a long cord so that you can use the magic loop method, a set of double point needles, and if you can swing it and feel like it and get the knack of it, use the Addy Sock Wonder. It's a 9-inch number 2, US number 2, or 2.5 millimeters. And then also a piece of scrap yarn, because you're going to use that to mark your heel. So measure your foot. They always say the widest part of your foot, but your shoe size is an indication as to what kind of, or how much you need in terms of knitting on, casting on your stitches, increasing how it's going to fit your foot. In other words, I'm trying to make this simple. Measure your foot. Measure your foot from your toe to your heel, heel to toe, however you want to say that. Mine's 9 inches. My shoe size is 8.5, 9, depending on the shoe. So, and then you measure your foot and you subtract 2 inches, and that's how long you're going to knit the body of your foot, sock foot. So, first of all, you cast on 12 stitches on each needle, and you're going to gradually increase till you get to 64 stitches. And I would suggest try it on. If it's for yourself, try it on. And then once you get to your 64 stitches, you start knitting the foot and heading towards the heel, and at which point it'll be about 7 inches. And I use this little sock measure thing. It goes to 8 inches. So I use this sometimes to remind myself how far I'm going to knit my sock. So it's just a neat, handy little measurement thing. You don't have to have all these tools, really. You just need your knitting needles and your yarn, and you can go. So you're going to knit up to about 7 inches, and that's where you're going to put in your scrap yarn to mark off the place for your heel. And then you're going to continue on knitting up to the body, at the top of the sock. And you will go back and put your heel in later. So it's called the afterthought heel. So we'll get to that gradually. So right now, what you need to know, cast on your 12 stitches on each side, do your increases till you get to 64, and work on the body of the sock. And I guess I'll see you in about a week's time. I might insert a few notes here and there. Knit your sock, and we'll get to the afterthought portion, at least marking it, okay? I hope you have a lot of fun. That's the thing. I noticed that when I was knitting, I was scrunching at my shoulders, and I'm like, just relax, you know. This is not a marathon. This is not, you know, you're going to be graded by your teacher. Just relax and enjoy the whole process. So send me your notes and your comments. Let me know what kind of yarns you're using. And if you have questions, send them on too. Cheers.